Hey y'all, it's January the 1st, and so we're starting off a new year. We're ending deer season. We're starting 2026. So in honor of New Year's and the end of deer season, we're going to do a hunt, hook, and cook. We're going to do a mushroom rubbed venison roast, and we're going to do the traditional black eyed peas and some collard greens. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our black eyed peas, and we're going to do a quick soak on these. Straight in the pot. We're going to add our water, and then we're going to take these and put these on the stove, bring them up to a boil. And once they're at a boil, we're going to let them boil for 2 minutes, cut them off, let them soak for an hour, hour and a half while we go pick up PJ. And then when we get back, we'll be able to go on to the next step. So y'all stay tuned. Okay, so while our peas are soaking, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the rub for our venison roast. And what we're going to make is a mushroom rub. And so we're going to use some chaga mushroom, some cauliflower mushroom that we actually harvested from my dad's property, and some lion's mane mushroom that we foraged from some hikes, and some shiitake mushrooms that we dehydrated. So we're going to start out by throwing that chaga in there, and we're going to throw some of these in there. We're going to get it going. That chaga is hard. It's going to take a little bit to bust that up. So that chaga is hard. So we'll break that mushroom up a little bit more. And this is something that gets used a lot in our house. Arlette's always making rubs and spices and stuff. And also every day we put a little bit of mushrooms in our coffee when we make our coffee. So we're going to put this in there, and then we'll start with our lion's mane and with our cauliflower. This is just going to give it a real earthy tone. There we go. Break those little pieces of lines made up just a little more. Okay. Now for our cauliflower. So what's funny is these cauliflower mushrooms, we actually foraged for these for like 2 years and we never found a single one. And this year, we just got lucky. And they were over at my dad's house. So these cauliflower mushrooms, when we got them, we didn't clean them up that much. There's like pine needles and all kinds of stuff in them. So it just adds a little bit more flavor to the food. There we go. And where'd my chaga go? Let's throw the chaga back in there and let it roll for a little bit. That's our chaga. All right, so this is our chaga. We're going to put that in there. And I'm going to add some salt, some pepper, and then I'm going to add a little bit of coffee. So we're grinding some coffee. We're going to put that in. This is going to be our rub. And this rub, we're not going to use all of it today, obviously. But it's a great rub for using on pretty much any red meat. We'll add that right in. And then that's going to be our rub for our venison roast.
Hey guys, it's me, PJ. Right now what I have in my hand and what's right next to me, this right here is known as a rosemary plant. They're beautiful and they smell great. My stepdad is making me get some rosemaries so we can have them for dinner with our collard greens and our meat. They're great with meat. They're evergreen plants. They're medicinal, they're antiviral and antibacterial, and they're just great. And they're edible. Alright, you can stop.
Alright, PJ just went to the garden and brought us back some rosemary. We're just talking about how great he did on the video. So we're going to take this rosemary, we're going to take it and, PJ,
Yes.
focus. Okay, we're going to take it.
Cut it! Okay.
Alright, pull all the greens off of it, then we're going to run the knife through it.
Yeah.
You going to help me do that, or are you going back to play video games?
I would love to go back and play video games, but I'm assuming I'm forced to help
Alright,
you.
get out of here, go. Alright, so we're going to take it and pull all this rosemary off, and we're going to give it a little fine chop with a knife, and then we're going to add it to our rub. And once that's ready, then we're going to go over here, and we will start cutting the silver skin off and getting ready to make our jus with that. So I'm going to get this handled, and y'all stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, so we've got this mixed up, and so as you saw, it's an evergreen, so it's got that real strong, like almost like a piney smell mixed with the foraged mushrooms. You know, it's a real earthy field, forest, fire smell. The deer meat that came out of the forest. All of these things blended together just screams outdoors and sexiness and all the good stuff. All right, so we've got our dry rub that we're going to put on there. It's all prepped and ready. So now we're going to take our roast. You know, like everybody's had pot roast. So, you know, the roast meat is usually more tough meat than anything. So what we're going to do is low and slow. We're going to take this, we're going to trim all of our silver skin off, and we're going to put it to the side. And we're going to take some red wine and some beef broth, and we're going to simmer it down. We're going to make an au jus out of it. But then we're going to take this and we're going to truss it up, season it, and we're going to brown it in our pan. And then we're going to take it and I'm going to put it on the lowest setting on my smoker so it can just take smoke and get it to a perfectly medium rare. And that's how we're going to serve this. Just a new spin on that older piece of meat that everybody just normally stews to death. So let me get it trimming and we'll get it ready. Okay, so as you can see, we've got some silver skin here. And a little bit of light silver skin here, but when you roll this over, open it up, yes, you could go in here, but you don't want to go in and trim all this out. Because what you're going to end up doing is you're going to take all this, it's going to roll together into like a nice little log here, and all of that's going to be those nice little pockets of fat and seasoning that's going to keep this, the taste inside this when it's cooking. So just get it off the outside and then tie it up. All right, so got it all trimmed up. We're going to salt and pepper, and then our rub. Oh, I can smell that rosemary. Okay. Now we're going to get our string. Now, So take and get that nice and round as we can right there. Come up and a little knot. Okay. And then I've seen it done like this before, but I've never done this. That's not gonna work. I don't know what I'm doing there. Okay. We'll go right there. Come up. Pull that through there. Okay. Now we tie this. Stand there. That didn't cut. Y'all don't pay attention to my Michael Jordan face I got going on over here. Like my tongue sticking out. Trying to figure out how to tie a knot. Anytime I tie a knot, I always have my tongue stuck out. All right, so we got that trimmed up. Little tag ugly piece off of there. And we're taking roll our goodness all back on there. Okay, a little sprinkle there, sprinkle there. Now we're ready to take it and sear it and encrust all that goodness on it before it goes to the smoker. Tell me when. You better start over. Tell me when. All right. So while the flat top's getting hot, we're going to just dice up some garlic real quick and get it ready. What we're going to do is we're going to make our au jus. We're going to use the leftover silver skin and meat that we trimmed off of that. And we're going to use some better than bouillon, beef bouillon. Get that in there. And well, a specific measurement is that much. Okay. We're gonna put that in, add some water, and then our scraps. And next, since my household is a dry household, we're using only the finest alcohol removed Merlot. So just add some red wine, and we're going to let that cook. Follow me to the stove. So we're going to put this back on the back burner and get it going. And because I did not put enough red wine in there, we're going to go ahead and put the rest of that bottle in there. So we'll get that simmering while we go out to the grill. Follow me. All right, so we have got the grill completely smoking hot. You can see we're just going.
Looks beautiful.
Put that on there and let it sear. And we're not looking at trying to cook this. We're just putting a sear on the outside.
Smells delicious. Is this causing any pollution? Oh, this is a time lapse.
No, okay.
Oh. Exactly.
Grill, right? All right. So we've got a nice sear all the way around and all the ends. Like I said, we're not trying to cook this. We just wanted to get a sear on it. So we're going to go over to the smoker. I've got the smoker set on the smoke setting. So it is right at 170 degrees. We'll bring it in. We'll put this on. And we'll say probably about 1 hour is what we're going to end up smoking this at. So we'll go inside and we will work on our sides. We're going to make some butter, collard greens and some black eyed peas, and don't forget the cornbread. All right, let's go. All right, so there's lots of ways to make cornbread in this world, but I'm from the South. Yes, you can spend all that time making homemade cornbread, or you can just go get some Jiffy. Best thing in the world. So, 1 pack of Jiffy, 1 egg, throw a cup of milk, mix it up, and then we're just going to go right into our corn muffin tins, put them into the oven at 400 degrees, and that will be our cornbread, the signified gold for us for 2026. All right, so we're going to put these in the oven at 400 degrees, and we'll check back on them in about 20 minutes. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get ready for our peas. And so what we're going to do is we're going to cut up a mirepoix, some carrots, some onions, and some celery, and we're going to brown some bacon and then saute these, and then we'll get our peas started. So we're going to hyperlapse just so you don't have to see or watch me painstakingly do all this. All right, so it's really starting to smell good in here. That wine's really starting to boil up back behind me. So what we're gonna do with these collard greens, if you ain't from the South, you don't know what you're doing. Take the collard greens, grab by the stalk here, and pull down. You don't want any of that. That goes to the pigs. You want the tender stuff. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take all that, peel them all off, and then I will take them, give them a rinse, and once I've rinsed them, make sure I tear them down into smaller pieces. And I don't cook collard greens the way everybody else does, so stay tuned. I'll show you how to cook collard greens fast. So we'll start adding some vegetables over here. This is my pot for my peas. So now one thing you're going to notice in this video is this isn't like one of those cooking shows. There's no order or rhyme or reason. We're actually cooking to eat. All right, so got some water starting to boil over here. Our corn muffins are ready, and our collards are washed. So as soon as that water is boiling, I'm going to add my peas, which I've got hiding here. So we're going to add the peas. There we go. And one. And then we're going to let these cook while we work on our collard greens. Alright, so I do my collards differently than most people. So I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil down the bottom of this. And now I'll grab my first handful of collard greens and I'm going to start stacking collard greens in here. I'm not going to boil these collards at all. What I'm doing is I am cooking these collards with just the amount of water that came off of washing them. So I'm going to put them into this pot, and I'm going to pour all the bacon grease and on top of them. And this is muscadine vinegar that we made here on site. And I'm going to give a little pour of that over the top. Now I'm going to add another layer of collard greens to that. Some salt. Some pepper. Little red pepper flake. Now what I'm going to continue to do here is I'm going to keep pushing these collard greens down. And then after I've done that, I'll take and I'll lift them up, and I'll flip them, and you'll just keep pushing them down. Keep that burner on high and keep pushing them down. The best thing to do is to come in here and get a lid. And you can take that lid, put it inside, and push it down. And now everything just starts to steam. So think about when you do, what's that green stuff that you make all the time? Spinach. Think about when you throw spinach into a pan, how much it reduces down so quickly. We're doing the same exact thing, but with collard greens. So instead of it taking 5 or 10 minutes.
Wilting.
Wilting, there you go. We're wilting our collard greens so we don't have to cook them for 12 hours boiling the snot out of them. Perfect. Coming along nicely. We'll give this about another 30 minutes. So, sticking with the fact of we're doing deer from here locally, I was talking about the vinegar a second ago. This is wild muscadine grapes that we took and we made into our own vinegar. You see a couple bottles over here. We actually hiked through the Francis Marion Forest and we picked them along the trails. So, and then we just made this ourselves. So, another little cool thing that you can do out in nature. Bouillon's doing there. Add a little chicken bouillon to that. Alright, so the first thing is, if you made it this far into this video, thank you for watching this. But the major question I want to know is this. Do you prefer long form videos like this, or shorter, faster? What type of videos do y'all want to see more of? But I'm going to take all that, I'll bring it back over to my pot that I cooked all my bacon in. It's got all that bacon goodness down the bottom of it. And that way, my collards can just finish up into that pot. There we go. And the lid fits nice. Our au jus is going right back there in the back. Don't you wish you could smell that? Our peas are gone and our meat has about 20 minutes left. So, we used non-alcoholic wine earlier. Yes, I'm drinking a Corona non-alcoholic. I'm 11 months, so we didn't start our 2025 ultimatum until February. So now in February will be 12 months. So I am straining my jus. We're gonna get rid of all that silver skin and all the other stuff that was in there for a nice clean jus to serve with our venison roast. That smells great. All right, next thing up, we're gonna pull the venison roast off. We'll let it sit, and then we'll be ready to eat. All right, so we're gonna check our temp. We know we got plenty of smoke, and we're gonna 111, 12, 13. Let's check all this ball. Oh, that's 120. Okay. We're looking for about 120. There you go. 124. 128. All right, we're going to go ahead and pull this so that we can get it wrapped and let it sit, and then it'll be perfect. So I'm going to take and wrap this. We're going to let that rest about 10 minutes, and then we will start plating up some dinner. So we're going to unwrap this. All right. That's nice. Smell that smoke from the smoker coming off of it. Okay. All right. And you can cut this however you want, but I'm just gonna. That's perfect. That is perfect. All right, now I'm just going to get some of this and we're going to plate up a plate. All right, so we're going to plate one of these up. Watch me chef this up.